Welcome to hell.
Yeah, that's what I should have said. I should have said welcome to hell.
I said it for
How
you. It's all good.
appropriate.
Yeah.
How appropriate. Man,
Mhm.
we are joined by heavy metal royalty today. I feel like I say that a lot on this show. That's
Well, we're lucky to be
we're
able
lucky.
to repeat ourselves with such an awesome term. So,
Yeah. We have Abaddon, drummer for Venom, on the show today. You talk about an influential band. I think it's safe to say they basically were the forefathers of the whole black metal, death metal, extreme metal movement, whatever you
it's
want to
it's
call
been
it.
it's been said and very well documented that the words black and metal were first put together by the guys in Venom. So
Right?
that
Title of the
kind of
second
like
album.
single-handedly created a genre that I feel like metal fans didn't know what to expect because you've got Black Sabbath and people know what that, the beginnings of Black Sabbath started probably not at all like Venom started, but the idea of calling your band Black Sabbath and calling your band Venom, and then realizing later on that a term black metal probably was very well taken from the album by Venom, Black Metal.
Yeah. Yeah,
Important guest today uh,
absolutely.
is what Dave was saying. Very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you talk to the guys in Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax, Pantera, they will all point to Venom as a major, major influence. And I mean, just extreme to the max. There was no band like that when they came out. They were just raw. They had there was a punk element to their music, and then of course the whole satanic imagery was just completely over the top. You mentioned Black Sabbath, and they were kind of considered this dark, foreboding, sinister band, which they were. But Venom took that to 11.
There were very few others at the time writing as dark a lyric. We of course you start with Black Sabbath and that imagery and that sort of style, if you could call it. You know, I don't even think was really dabbled too much even by King Diamond at the time. Merciful Fate, I believe they were called. Merciful Fate was called either the Brats or Black Rose or something like that. You guys can feel free to correct me in the comments there, but there was a band called Lucifer's Friend. There was a band called Coven. There were even bands that were well seated in the new wave of British heavy metal as late as 79, 80, 81. Witchfinder General. A lot of these hellish themes were popular not as popular as they even would be now with all of the subgenres of even just black metal, extreme metal. But by early 80s and Venom's created path for Bathory and bands like Bathory.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Definitely highly influential, especially in the underground. And oddly enough, a lot of their peers at the time, Metallica, Slayer, Exodus, went on to take that extreme form of music and actually broaden the appeal and have it become almost mainstream, especially if you're talking Metallica, Anthrax, bands like that. But they all point back to Venom as a huge influence. You just have to love the over the top spirit, the blatant blasphemy. They had no problem. As Abaddon says in our conversation, it was all about shock. More, just shock, shock, shock.
that's important to emphasize that it was all about being bigger and louder and meaner and bigger flames and bigger amps and bigger drum risers.
Yeah.
And they were their competition as far as being bigger were the bands they grew up with, like Deep Purple and Queen and Black Sabbath and of course Kiss. So to have bigger pyro and bigger everything, and be more evil than the most evil song they could think of that day. They're having breakfast, tea, and they're going, what are we going to write about today? How evil can we be today? Thanks, Mom. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's
It's
kind of
whatever it is, it's got to be more evil than yesterday.
right. And I think that's all they tried to do. And they had done very few shows, if any show, two, maybe three, before they found themselves in New York with Metallica opening for them before Kill 'Em All even came out. It's kind of sick. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I want to mention a very grateful thank you to a guy named Jack. I'm gonna mess up your name. Jack Galar. It's Galar. Jack is a Canadian rock fan who on Facebook has been posting for years now. Whenever he plays a record, he puts the album art, leans it against the speakers, and takes a photo and he posts it. And I enjoy seeing those and what Jack is listening to. Like, I look forward to it. So one of the reasons I still open fucking Facebook, which is going to be the death of me one day. But he's one of the guys, and I just started up a conversation with Jack one day, and we got to be Facebook friends, which, God, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit saying that. But the point is great. The outcome is great because we're cut from the same cloth. All his record collection is phenomenal. He starts talking about Venom and Anthony Bray, Abaddon, our guest today, and saying how he's just this really sweet guy, this really important, kind of fun, easygoing man. And I'm like, holy crap. And he goes, you should have him on the podcast. And I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
So Jack,
Yeah.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for getting me in touch with Abaddon, Anthony Bray, to bring him into the Talk Louder podcast world. Dave, I think that your questions were excellent today. You brought up the whole Spinal Tap world. You brought up I think that both of us tag teaming the questions today for someone we're so excited about excited to talk to. And we could have gone 3 more hours.
Yeah.
This is not our longest podcast. I think we did an hour 15.
Yeah, but I mean, huge thanks to Abaddon. I mean, he's overseas in England at the time of this conversation, so different time zone. It's evening over there. It's Sunday. He basically gave up his Sunday evening to spend time with us, which is really, really cool. And as you said in the opening sequence of the episode, 18-year-old you and 17-year-old me can't believe that we are talking to Abaddon today on the Talk Louder podcast.